Today, we're counting down the 20 largest animals captured by people. And trust me, some of these beasts are straight out of your wildest nightmares. From massive land-dwelling giants to sea creatures that will make you never want to swim again, we've got it all. So get ready to be amazed, shocked, and maybe a little terrified as we dive into this list and see if you're brave enough to handle it. Join us as we have a look at 20 largest animals in the world captured by people. Number 20. Massive and solitary creature. What comes to your mind when you hear the word octopus? It's probably an animal that none of us will ever have to face in real life, but just in case you do, you should know what you're up against. The giant Pacific octopus is the biggest octopus species in the world, usually reddish-pink in color with a delicate vein-like pattern. The Pacific Ocean is home to this species, and it can be found anywhere from the coasts of Korea and Japan to Canada, the United States, and Mexico. It can be found in shallow waters and at depths of up to 4,900 feet, in freezing Pacific waters where the temperature is at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit. You might spot one in a tide pool if you're fortunate enough and have exceptionally keen eyes. Like many of us introverts, it's a solitary creature that loves to live alone for the majority of its time. An average giant octopus can weigh up to 50 pounds, but the largest of these species was captured in 2021 by a couple of marine biologists from Alaska Pacific University. This massive octopus weighed over 600 pounds and had a tentacle span of more than 20 feet. You definitely don't want to be near him when he's having a bad day. Number 19. The Gentle Giants. We all know that whales can grow into massive creatures, but did you know that the largest whale shark was bigger than a 3-story building? The biggest fish in the world is the whale shark. It can be found in both deep waters and coastal regions of both tropical and temperate oceans. The Indo-Pacific Ocean, which includes the Indian Ocean, the Western and Central Pacific Oceans, and the seas that surround Indonesia that connect the two, are said to be home to 75% of the whale shark population. The other 25% being found in the Atlantic Ocean. The movie Jaws would automatically come to mind when you may hear the word shark, but unlike those deathly creatures, whale sharks do not prey upon humans or any sea creatures bigger than planktons. Their food consists of some of the smallest marine animals and highlights their calm nature and lack of hostility towards larger marine life, which includes humans. Whale sharks are normally about 9 meters long when they reach sexual maturity, and many of them grow bigger than that. The majority of those measured were approximately 12 meters. The biggest known whale shark caught was a female that was 18.8 meters long. She was found in Northwest Indian Ocean. While many researchers had marveled at her size and beauty, they knew that she was not the only one who had reached that size. There may be countless others out there who are the same size or even bigger than her. We've just not been fortunate enough to find them yet. Number 18. Mystical Messengers of the Deep. Next up is the real-life serpent of the ocean, the oarfish. Fishermen off the north coast of Chile were surprised to catch an oarfish of almost 10 meters in length. This would shock everyone, as the species is generally 3 to 4 meters long. Oarfish are considered a harbinger of great earthquakes and tsunamis. It turns out that in Japanese culture, they're known as Ryuga no Tsukai. When translated, it says that oarfishes are called the messenger of the palace of the sea god. According to legend, the oarfish comes to the surface just before a huge earthquake or a tsunami of great magnitude will occur. This causes everyone to believe that these fishes may well be the reason that such events take place. While it is only a suspicion, they may have some truth, as a certain relationship has been confirmed in the appearance of this species and large magnitude earthquakes. According to Japanese seismologists, it's likely that the deep-sea fish, such as the oarfish, are more sensitive to the movements of active tectonic faults, and that when there's some movement in them, they will come out of the depths, disoriented, and then run aground to the closest beach. Number 17. Ocean's Marvelous Lion's Mane Jellyfish. Now, I'm not referring to Simba's mane or the great Mufasa, but to the largest jellyfish that exists. This huge invertebrate lives in the depths of the ocean, but when it approaches the coast, it can be really scary. Although it's not fatally toxic, the largest lion's mane ever seen measured more than 2 meters in diameter and had tentacles that were almost 37 meters long. Can you even believe it? Normally, they're not that big because they don't measure more than 50 centimeters in diameter, and the tentacles don't reach more than 30 meters in length. However, the size of these jellyfish does vary depending upon the area in which they grow and develop. Number 16. The enormous spider crab. Now, this is not a spider, but is in fact a crustacean, better known as the world's largest crab. It's not because of its shell, though, which can reach about 40 centimeters in diameter, but because of its enormous legs that measure about 3.5 meters. This is why it's known as the spider crab. Its shell has added to its gigantic legs, makes this crab reach a width of up to 4 meters, and it can weigh up to 20 kilos. People believe that finding one of these animals is a good luck charm, but as important as they may seem, these creatures are way bigger in real life than they seem in pictures. The female of a giant spider crab lays her eggs after mating in the spring and carries the eggs around until they hatch. They would repeatedly shed and renew their exoskeletons throughout their lives until they've reached their massive size. They're known for using natural materials like sponges and kelp to decorate their shells, and they also show excellent taste in the newest trends of marine fashion, and they're able to hide from predators like octopuses because of the ornaments. The biggest spider crab ever captured by a human was called Crabzilla, and I'm sure that you could guess why. In 2009, some lucky fishermen were on a hunt for fishes and crabs and came across a huge crab of this species. It measured about 5.4 meters, weighing almost 40 kilograms. And not only this, but the legs were 12 feet long from tip to tip. God surely took his sweet time in making this one, don't you think? Number 15. The Incredible Giant Squid. Are you ready to be amazed as we explore the incredible story of the biggest giant squid ever caught by a human? We're diving deep into the ocean's mysteries to discover the astounding size of these magnificent creatures. In the Antarctic waters off of New Zealand, some fishermen had managed to capture the largest giant squid ever, measuring a little over 39 feet. It weighed approximately 990 pounds, and due to its enormous height. It took more than 2 hours for the fishermen to capture it and get it onto the boat, and it would then be transported to a museum where it's been studied extensively. However, scientists are looking for the best way to thaw it out because they need to do some more advanced study with some direct samples of the animal. Although small specimens have been caught, it's believed that it's very likely that we will find individuals much larger than this one, which have eyes as big as a car tire. Giant squid can whip out their 2 feeding tentacles, each of which is topped with hundreds of strong, sharp-toothed suckers, to catch their prey from up to 33 feet away. These feeding tentacles are extraordinarily long, often more than twice as long as the entire giant squid itself. That sounds absolutely terrifying. Number 14. Cambodia's Colossal Manta Ray. I'm pretty sure that manta rays may remind you of the movie Finding Nemo, as it definitely reminds me of it, but I won't be discussing Nemo's adventures in this section. However, I will tell you about the biggest manta ray that was captured by a group of fishermen in Cambodia. This is the largest specimen found so far in Asia and Oceania of the species of this manta ray. However, this fish seems to have grown larger than normal because it weighed more than 300 kilograms and its diameter was considerably larger than average. After a quick checkup, the fish was later released on the surface of the Mekong River, and as soon as it was released into the waters, it swam calmly towards freedom. Apparently, the fishermen who had found the wounded animal took it out of the water to check it and cure it, and once it was well, they then released it again. Number 13. The Bovine Superstar. If cows could play basketball, Knickers would certainly be a world star. Australia has a reputation for being home to some of the world's largest animals, but when we think of gigantic Australian creatures, we usually picture snakes, crocodiles, and other massive and imposing animals, and not a cow. However, the cow named Knickers wanted to break that tradition by being crowned the biggest steer in the world. At 7 years old, Australia's Knickers is a steer that stands out from the rest, not only because its color is different from its herd, however cliche that may sound, but because this bovine measures 1.94 meters and weighs in at 1.4 tons. Knickers is a Holstein Friesian steer, and the breed dates back 2,000 years to European origins in nature. They're raised for their highly demanded meat, but because Knickers is a steer, which means that he's a castrated bull, he's had no future in the dairy industry. This is much more than average for the Holstein Friesian cows. On average, the breed weighs 580 kilograms when they reach their adult age, and on average measure 1.5 meters, so most of the herd is only up to the stomach of this great massive steer. Number 12. The Gargantuan Giant. Now allow me to walk you through the tragic story of Lo Long the crocodile. This saltwater crocodile held the title for being the largest known crocodile species, but it's the Nile crocodile that often steals the spotlight. The Nile crocs have gained fame for being home to some of the biggest crocodiles ever discovered. However, it would be in the Philippines where a truly enormous specimen sent shockwaves throughout the entire community. This colossal creature, named Lo Long, struck fear into the hearts of locals, causing significant havoc. He measured a jaw-dropping 6.2 meters in length and weighed over a ton, and became the center of attention. Worries about missing individuals led to a hunt for the giant beast, and dozens of hunters joined forces to capture it. And eventually they found Lo Long, and then captured the massive crocodile. Despite speculation of its involvement in disappearance, no evidence would be found within its stomach, but sadly the encounter with captivity would prove to be fatal. Lo Long would be transferred to a temporary facility in a local town, and that's where the crocodile, unaccustomed to confinement, suffered a heart attack and fungal pneumonia, which tragically led to its demise. Number 11. The Giant Serpent. A lot of people love snakes and say that they bring their adventurous side out. But what would you do if you ever came face to face with a 15-meter long snake who is hissing at you and ready to attack? Of course, you would likely scream and run like any other sane person would. This snake is known as the longest and heaviest snake to ever be captured by humans. It's a massive dark-colored male snake featuring a diameter of 85 centimeters, weighing 447 kilograms, and was exactly 15 meters long. It's kept in an animal exhibition center in the small town of Kendal. The Sumatran giant python was initially found on the island of Sumatra, where it was captured and then kept captive by the Kubu tribe, who had revered it as their king. Number 10. Nature's Nastiest Bug. When it comes to the heavyweight champions of the insect world, one creature stands head and thorax above the rest: the legendary Hercules beetle. Prepare to be shocked by this massive insect as we dive into its larger-than-life existence. The Hercules beetle is the world's largest species of beetle, living in the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. But forget about its cousins for a moment, because we're going to introduce you to the granddaddy of them all. A male Hercules beetle can measure up to 17.4 centimeters in length, and of course, nature's biggest bug has to have horns in the shape of a crown. That is a bug that has a lot of swagger. Renowned entomologist Dr. Victoria Hunter and her brave crew would undertake a dangerous expedition deep inside Costa Rica's rainforests, all in search of the legendary giant Hercules beetle. That's when they finally found the massive male, measuring a mind-boggling 18.7 centimeters in length. Have you ever wondered what these beetles may munch on? Well, they do have a taste for two main things. That would be sap from trees and soft fruits. They love to suck on the gooey sap from trees like mango, cashew, and fig. And when it comes to fruits, they love to snack on ripe fruits like papaya and guava once they fall from the trees. While we're on the subject of bugs, let's buzz our way over to the next bug on our list. Number 9. The Asian Giant Hornet. This hornet is known for its enormous size and intimidating presence, and takes the phrase big and bold to an entirely different level. The Asian giant hornet is the largest hornet that's ever been seen, and it's typically found in forests and rural areas of East Asia. It's a massive 2.2 inches long and features a wide wingspan. The Asian giant hornet is identified by its striking orange and black coloring, and it's definitely a frightening look with its huge eyes and strong mandibles. The Asian giant hornet is a great hunter when it comes to food. It primarily feeds on hornets and other insects like bees, and they also prey upon other insects that are considered to be pests, making them beneficial to the environment. The biggest Asian giant hornet was 2.5 inches long, and that discovery amazed the scientists on the true growth potential of this massive hornet. Number 8. The Giant of Ancient Ireland. The Irish giant deer was an impressive 6.9 feet tall at the shoulders, but their massive antlers, measuring an amazing 12 feet from tip to tip, were what really made them stand out. Picture coming across such a creature in the wild. What a breathtaking scene that would be. Speaking of Ireland, that was the land of these magnificent creatures. They inhabited the island's historic grasslands and woodlands, and boy, did they have a healthy appetite. The herbivores just loved to eat tree bark, leaves, and branches, but their passion for water plants was what actually set them apart. They would go deep into the forests and lakes to gorge themselves on these water plant treats, and that makes up for a diverse diet. But now we'll talk about the main star of the show. The biggest Irish giant elk was found in Ireland. This male weighed a whopping 90 pounds and had the largest antlers that were ever seen by man. They were 12 feet long from tip to tip, which is bigger than many small cars. And the most interesting part is, these antlers would shed and regrow each year for both male and female elk. Sadly, these amazing animals became extinct around 7,700 years ago, but we can still be in awe of their breathtaking presence because their fossils remain. They have a legacy that remains and serves as a constant reminder of the amazing diversity that once existed in Ireland's historic environments. Number 7. The Megatherium. Ground sloths found their home in various parts of America, be it north or south. Unlike other animals, these creatures thrived in various environments and in different temperatures. This included forests, grasslands, and even swamps, and they basically felt right at home wherever they wanted. We'll talk about their size now. When they reach maturity, these gentle giants could measure up to 10 to 13 feet in length, and not only that, but some of them could actually weigh as much as a baby elephant. Just imagine stumbling upon one of these creatures on your morning walk. That would be a story to tell at dinner parties. Ground sloths were quite chill when it came to their lifestyle. A majority of their time was spent lazily chewing on leaves, plants, and occasionally fruit, and they were a real-life example of laid-back herbivores. In South America, the largest ground sloth ever discovered was given the fitting name of Megatherium. This amazing beast weighed over 4 to 6 tons and stood at an unbelievable height of nearly 20 feet. That's what I call the heavyweight champion of the animal kingdom. It was none other than the intrepid biologist and explorer Charles Darwin who had discovered the ruins of this huge Megatherium. Talk about a happy accident. It weighed around 2,200 pounds and had a large blocky-shaped head and more peg-like incisors in both the upper and lower jaws. Its front foot had huge claws like the Shasta ground sloths for gripping branches and defense, and President Thomas Jefferson would first describe these fossils in 1797, believing that they had belonged to a massive lion at one time. Little did they know, though, that they were standing on a prehistoric gold mine. Sadly, ground sloths became extinct a long time ago. The main reason for that extinction is still not confirmed, but many scientists believe it to be climate change and, of course, human intervention. Number 6. The mighty alpha. We've all seen some of the most cute videos of wolves and coyotes playing with dogs and cats, but did you know that the former relatives of the animals were very far from cute? Dire wolves, as they were known, roamed across huge continents of North and South America, thriving in both the grasslands and the forests. They lived in packs and hunted together as a well-oiled machine, like the real kings of the wild. These canines were larger than typical wolves in terms of their size. Their size would be similar to that of a large modern-day gray wolf, and they were taller and heavier than their modern cousins. Imagine a large beast with a shoulder height of roughly 3 to 3.5 feet, and these dire wolves may have been the bullies, but they were certainly no pushovers. When it comes to their diet, dire wolves were apex predators who gorged on a variety of prey. This would include large herbivores from bison to horses to smaller animals like deer and rodents. No one was safe in the wild. They dominated the food chain, and no one came close to their hunting skill. Since dire wolves became extinct with other Ice Age animals, modern-day humans can only get an idea about their heights from their remains. The biggest recorded remains of the dire wolf would come from North Florida. Canis dirus, as it was called, was about 25% heavier than the modern-day gray wolf, with an estimated mass of 130 to 150 pounds. But don't worry, it was smaller than the wolves that have been shown in Game of Thrones. The Osceola River area of North Florida would be home to the largest known direwolf specimens. They were stockier and had somewhat shorter limbs than most other wolves. Even though they were slower runners than the wolves or coyotes of today, they would still have been an active predator who were always on the lookout for fresh meat. Number 5. The Snail Titans. The giant African snails were originally from East Africa, but human introductions would allow them to spread across the globe, and they were able to prosper in warm and humid conditions which included tropical and subtropical areas, thanks to their highly adaptable nature. These snails have taken big to an entirely different level. Some of them can weigh up to 2 pounds, and their shells can grow to be an impressive length of roughly 7 to 8 inches. Just like earthworms, these snails have both male and female reproductive organs, which is quite impressive for creatures of their size. The largest giant African snail ever recorded was 39.3 centimeters from head to tail, with a shell of 27.3 centimeters, and that makes for an impressively large snail. Number 4. Goliath Bird-Eater Tarantula. Just when you thought that you were done with bugs and insects, I'm here with another one on this list. But thankfully for your nightmares, it will be the last one we talk about. This remarkable creature is found in the South American tropical jungles, where they're kings and queens of the spider world. These tarantulas are truly giants amongst bugs, with an average leg span of around a foot. However, I'll concentrate on the main attraction of this creature, the world record-breaking giant among giants. The largest bird-eating tarantula ever discovered has a staggering leg span of over 12 inches and weighed 6 pounds. Basically, it was as big as a dinner plate and a whole lot heavier. This huge predator used more than simply size to intimidate its prey. It can hiss and flick thorny, irritating hairs from its abdomen when threatened, adding another line of defense to its weaponry. These tarantulas, despite their frightening moniker, mainly eat insects and tiny vertebrates, and despite their name, they don't often eat mature birds. They can catch and eat smaller birds if the chance does present itself, though. While tarantulas may give some people the creeps, they're a vital part of preserving the ecosystem of the rainforests. Number 3. Mola alexandrinae, the sunfish. A member of the bony fish family, the sunfish has earned its place in history. Surprisingly, the largest individual ever captured by a human weighed 6,000 pounds, and this heavyweight champion was located in Portugal, and researchers were shocked by its massive size. Such large sunfish are quite hard to come by. In fact, the most massive specimen ever discovered was in 1996, and it weighed 5,070 pounds. The fish's sheer size is simply breathtaking. The sunfish has a remarkable appearance with its enormous and circular body and unique flattened shape as one of the heaviest known bony fish in the world. It spends its days basking near the water's surface, feeding on jellyfish and other gelatinous marine creatures. Number 2. The Saltwater Crocodile. With a length of 23 feet and an unbelievable weight of 2,465 pounds, the saltwater crocodile is an apex predator. It rules the rivers, estuaries, and coastal regions of Southeast Asia, Australia, and the surrounding regions. They're apex predators that feed on a variety of prey, which includes fish, birds, and mammals, and they have a powerful jaw that's able to exert a crushing force of over 16,000 newtons, making them well capable of taking down any and all sorts of prey. Number 1. The Colossal Squid. The colossal squid is a fascinating creature that lives within the southern oceans. One of the largest known invertebrates on Earth, although its exact size is actually unknown, it's thought to be between 12 and 14 meters. The largest individual of the species would be discovered in the year 2007, its length and weight roughly 14 meters and 496 kilograms. These mysterious animals live in the icy waters that are close to Antarctica, traveling to depths that are well difficult to reach. They have a powerful armament on their bodies, which includes razor-sharp hooks on their tentacles, which they can then utilize to capture their victims. Although they do have a fearsome appearance, the colossal squid's behavior and biology are poorly understood. Most of them are either dead or found inside the stomachs of their predators. Thanks for watching today's video. What did you think about all of these largest animals in the world being captured by people? Let us know all about it in the comments section down below, and I'll see you next time.